Hello and welcome to Politics Up on Vanguard Live. My name is Damlola Ogunshakin. Joining me to talk today is Demola Olariwaju, Special Assistant to Atiku Abubakar on Digital Media Strategy, and Aliyu Audu, Coordinator of APC Rebirth Group. Hello, Ademola. All right, I think we're having issues connecting to Ademola. Hello, Aliyu. Yeah, thank you for joining us. All right, let's move straight to what we're talking about today. So, after 8 years of APC rule, there are still trust issues. So, the main thing is, why should Nigerians trust APC again?
All right. It's been 7 years plus of turbulence globally, and APC at the center has been able to steady the ship, steady, the country from state of turmoil to, relatively stable, however difficult, better where we are now than where we're coming from. I mean, the statistics show that much, and yes, and of course, we have a lot to show for the 7.5 years we've been in government, despite earning so little within that period compared to what has been, earned in the past. And we have, by far the best candidate, in the race, whose antecedents and capacity and competence speaks, it's more than enough reason why Nigeria should trust APC. It's part of the government will be done, and the quality of candidate we're bringing in to take over from where President Muhammad Buhari stops. And yeah, I can confidently say Nigeria have to believe in the renewed hope plans of Tinubu for the country when elected, May 20, when sworn in May 29. 2023, inshallah.
All right, we have Demola back. Demola.
Yes, please.
All right, after 16 years of PDP's rule, why should Nigerians trust you again?
Well, I think the context must always be put into perspective. Before the 16 years of PDP, you had 16 years of military rule from 1983 to 1999. Which puts the country into the doldrums. It puts Nigeria in a state of sickness, as it were in 1999. You had the economy out of bounds. You had insecurity all over the place. You had sectarian crisis. You had terrible divisions within the body states of the country as of 1999. This was the situation PDP met, and which the PDP tackled effectively from 1999 to 2015. As at 1999, a lot of the things that we are used to today, a lot of things that we take for granted, were not available. But the People's Democratic Party brought in those things under the government, the first of the President Obasanjo and Vice President Atiku led government. And that government we referred to it jointly because President Obasanjo traveled about 103 times, and on each occasion, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar was the vice president. He was the one who was in charge while Obasanjo traveled, and he was also the head of the National Economic Council, under which a lot of innovations that we are used to today came up. So this was what PDP meant. When people grade us, people should grade us as regards what we met on ground. Now, in 2015, we handed over a thriving economy, we handed over a thriving country to Muhammadu Buhari and the APC. And the result within just 8 years is obvious to Nigerians now. Clearly, Nigerians want a different direction from what they are getting. Of course, nobody begrudges Nigerians for taking the step that they took in 2015. Nigerians wanted better. They wanted Nigeria to become a Dubai, forgetting where PDP had met the country in 1999 and where PDP was taking the country at that time. Nigerians wanted to get there faster and thought that the All Progressive Congress would provide that in 2015. But unfortunately, what we've seen today has been that it has been a reversal. It has been 8 years of reversal, and Nigerians have expressed their desire for a change. So currently, what the PDP is backing is a people who are there are people who clearly want a difference for Nigeria. Some of them want a totally different party. We are saying to them that PDP is the only party that can take APC out. And then you also have some people who are in the minority who believe that this is the best that we can get under our nation, believe that, this sickness that Nigeria is in is what they want to continue with. Those are the people who believe in that mantra of renewed hopelessness. We believe that it is time for Nigeria to recover, and the People's Democratic Party is the only party that can do that for Nigeria.
Aliyu, I want you to defend the Muslim ticket.
There is nothing to defend. The country was amalgamated in 1914. The two protectorate, the northern and the southern protectorate, was amalgamated. So we have someone from the southern part of Nigeria taking charge from a country that has just been governed by a northerner in the spirit of fairness along the regional divides. As far as our ticket is concerned, because of the task ahead, we have decided to bring our very best tool to lead the country. In the history of Nigeria, in the Fourth Republic, it is on record that no governor till date has been able to perform nearly close to what Bola Ahmed Tinubu did in his 8 years in Lagos. And not only did he do that, he has set forward a mid and long-term plan and a template that the subsequent governors have worked on and have increased the fortunes of Lagos for Lagosians and Nigeria as a whole. Kashim Shettima, on the other hand, was the only governor who governed in the midst of insurgency and was able to unite Borno along religious ethnic lines, develop education and health sectors in ways many didn't believe was possible for a country at the epicenter of terror. And he's been able to transition to another governor who is following his footsteps. Since return to democracy in 1999, no other state has witnessed 11 years consistent progressive governance like the Borno has under the leadership of Senator Kashim Shettima and the current Professor Zulum. So, on that basis of competence, capacity, and antecedent and commitment to nation building, our presidential candidate has chosen a running mate whom he can defend.
All right, Ademola, what will PDP do differently?
I think what is clear is that presently Nigeria is in the hands of people who do not understand the ethnic diversity and the religious diversity of Nigeria. Aliyu, my brother, was mentioning earlier on in trying to justify the Muslim ticket, which of course we all know is very insensitive to the teeming Christian population in this country. It is slap in the face of every northern Christian, because what Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has effectively told them as northern Christians is that you are not good enough for me to win elections with. The tradition in this country has always been that if you have a northern president, then you must have a southern president to balance. If you have a northern Muslim, you must have a southern Christian to balance. In this situation, we had the southern Muslim in the APC. Logic should have said that he picks a northern Christian as his vice, but he did not do that, which means that he has said to the northern Christians that I do not think you have political value for this ticket. As regards what PDP will do differently, that's one of the things. PDP is going to manage the diversity of this country effectively. You see, the amalgamation that is being talked about was between the North and the South. But not just that, it was also an amalgamation of various ethnicities. Because the North, as we know it, has various ethnicities. The South, as we know it, has various ethnicities. Why we have had problems over the past 8 years has been that APC is a party that is not able to manage the ethnic diversity of Nigeria. It's a party that's not able to manage the religious diversity of Nigeria. And so, So I think, if we are here and we are dismissing the importance of Christians in government, which is what Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done, and which is what my brother Aliyu Audu is defending in this situation, this is one of the things that the PDP is coming in to correct. The PDP, through its ticket open, in Northern Anambra their ticket, and what we did immediately was to ensure that there's balance on that ticket by picking a Southerner. And we didn't pick a Southern Muslim because we recognize that our candidate is a Northern Muslim, so we picked a Southern Christian. The religion is also important because we know that Nigerians are people who take their religions very seriously. And under Muhammadu Buhari, a lot of people have expressed fears of the growing Islamization of the country. You would expect that the APC will be sensitive to those sentiments as well. Just yesterday, you had Bola Tinubu at a program in Ondo State, where the governor Akeredolu was burying his mother, and he was referring to the priest as Alphas. And people are already saying this, that look, a pastor is different from an Alpha, and even if you want to say it in Yoruba, it's Alufa. That's how the Yoruba Christians say that. So these are worrying things, and this is just one of the things that PDP is coming in to do. PDP is going to respect the diversity of Nigeria, whether in terms of ethnicity, whether in terms of religion, whether in terms of the ideology, the political ideology of Nigeria. We have to forge Nigeria to be one. And that is why, one of our tags is that as one, we can get it done. But we recognize that we are one in name. As a country, we are one, but that people still identify themselves as Igbos, people identify themselves as Igalas, people identify themselves as Ibiras, people identify themselves as Yorubas. We understand that diversity. One thing PDP is coming in to correct is to manage the diversity of Nigeria, which the APC ticket cannot do. Because in that 1 and 2 arrangement, in the arrangement of president and vice president, you do not have regard for the religious diversity of this country. So that's one thing that PDP is looking to come into change. Of course, there are other aspects, but this aspect I wanted to also use the opportunity to answer the question of the failure of their ticket to meet that religious diversity benchmark.
All right, Aliyu, what will APC do differently in 2023?
All my friend Demola has had to say is to say the Atiku did all of this abracadabra to collect ticket to come and manage religious balance. Wow, it's really difficult to sell a very bad market. However, let me tell him that a man who wants to fix a country will first fix his home. A political party is supposed to be ideologically homogeneous. For a party who has lasted for as long as 23 years, you would expect them to have some level of ideology that binds them together. If, as we speak today, Atiku cannot honor the same diversity by allowing that after a Fulani northern Muslim would be completing his 8 years, it is only normal if truly and truly Demola thinks that there is some sort of Islamization, which I don't know. I don't know any Christian in the north or south that Buhari has ever stopped from going to mosque or going to church, or any Muslim in any way whose life has been affected by the pastorship and of the vice presidential of our sitting vice president, who is a Christian and a pastor. However, I would like to respond by saying this, that a man who cannot put his home in order cannot promise to put the whole world in order. As a little promise, as saying that their national chairman will resign if a northerner emerges as presidential candidate, which was a promise by the presidential candidate and the national chairman, Senator Yocha Ayu himself, has torn the party into two. They now have 8 governors without soul running around the country selling a ticket that cannot be sold, while the remaining part of PDP with soul sits pretty well with Wike in Port Harcourt. So I will go straight to tell you what our plans are. Religion is not Nigeria's problem. As a matter of fact, I think it is about time we emphasize the importance of religion in our national life, because real economic issues, the real human issue has been outsourced to religious prophets. You know, when people can't feed, it is not prayer that solve the problem. You would have expected that for a government in power for 16 years, who earned in 3 years, 2010, 2011, and 2012, what the APC has not been able to earn in 7 years of being in power, would have been able to put some sort of infrastructure on the ground upon which economy and standard of living will be built on. As little as
I would like to ask you, do you feel challenged by the obedience revolution?
So it's a revolution that I respect. As I alluded to when I spoke at the beginning, there are people who clearly agree that the All Progressive Congress has not done well in the past few years. There are people who believe that the All Progressive Congress should exit government, and in that regard we are happy with that. However, the question now is, are they able to scale a movement that is big enough to remove the APC from power? My fear is that the movement is not able to scale. So I respect their aspirations, I respect their desire, the desire to remove the APC, the desire that understands that APC has clearly failed. However, you know, I would want us all to be pragmatic in terms of casting our votes, like millions of voters have pledged to do for Atiku Abubakar, because they recognize that only Atiku Abubakar can defeat this government. You see how they defend issues and try to turn issues, you know, you've seen it from all APC spokespersons all over the place. You see how they've tried to turn issues on its head. It's not going to be easy to defeat these people, because there are a lot of people who are presently benefiting from the rot in the country under the APC administration. So it is important for us to at some point vote wisely. In other words, to cast our vote in a manner that is consistent with wisdom. And wisdom must find the most practical means of achieving its end. If this other candidate, there is only one party that has the national spread to confront APC, and that's the PDP. It's clear there is only one candidate, Atiku Abubakar, who is able to confront the behemoth that the APC has become. So it's a movement that I respect. It's a movement that I respect what they are trying to do. I identify that their goals are similar to mine, but I think that at some point there should be a pragmatic pathway towards expressing the desire that they want.
But it seems this obedience wave have taken over the youth. I mean, youth in countries, they are considered important when it comes to decision making. And of course, we saw the impact during the Obama's election. So why do you think the same won't happen in Nigeria?
Well, I don't think it won't happen, but I do recognize there's also a diversity, the same diversity that Aliyu Audu wants us to ignore when it comes to religion. I recognize that there is diversity in so many places. So there's also that age diversity. I'm a young person. I'm in PDP. I've been in PDP for so long. Aliyu Audu is also in the APC. He has been in APC for so long. He's also a young person. So you have young people in these major parties who are also, not part of the old order, but we want young people to become politically involved. I believe what's going on with Labour Party is more or less, some young people being carried away. Like I said, I respect the trend. I respect their interest in politics. But again, you have to be pragmatic. It's not, and I recognize that, this is more or less a political face-off, between myself and my brother from the APC. But again, we also recognize that, and I think, it's important for us to put this out there for young people like us. I recognize that PDP is not perfect. Aliyu recognizes that APC is not perfect. But you have to start your political involvement pragmatically. What's going on in Labour Party? And I'm afraid that in 2023, people have said they want to waste their votes. Fine. But I'm afraid that they will discover that there's a loss in political capital. People will say, oh, after all that happened. Look, it happened in Lagos State. After you had the NSAS, movement. After it happened, 2 weeks after NSAS, there was an election. APC won that election in Lagos State. And the political class started laughing that, look, if really the NSAS was an issue, then APC, which was the incumbent party, should not have won that election. I think that might happen again in 2023 when inevitably,
either APC or PDP wins, which is what is going to happen anyway. When that happens, people will question that, oh, you say you are young people. Where is your political clout? Where is your political strength? We saw you people, you are just social media politicians. And, and there would also be that demoralization in young people, those who have invested. I'm seeing some people, although I'm not sure that all of it is true, people are saying they are donating houses, they are donating their cars, they are donating their beds and so on. Well, if at the end of the day, what they expect does not happen, then there is a discouragement from politics. So it's a movement that I respect. I respect it because it's a movement trying to kick the APC out. But I believe that the most pragmatic means of doing that is what must be found. And that is to come into a party like the PDP, to join hands and kick the APC out of government.
All right, Aliyu.
So I am not very used to calling names, I call spade, not a shovel, not a big spoon. I don't feel threatened by any obedient movement. That's a worry for their parent body, the PDP. As far as I'm concerned, the OB and OB movement is PDP light that have broken off the PDP. I am of the APC. I have not seen a single young person in Labour Party who has been in the party, and I do not think they understand politics enough. Let me in addition to what my brother Demola said, give you statistics, because I'm very scientific and I like to play with data and play with numbers. There are about 176,000 polling units in this country, and I can tell you as we speak, Labour Party does not have presence in 60,000 of them. There are 109 senatorial districts with candidates running on the same day at the same time the presidential election will take place. The Labour Party does not have up to 45 senatorial candidates. There are about 360 House of Rep constituency across the country. Labour Party does not have up to 150 of that. Labour Party does not currently have a councillor in any political ward in Nigeria, let alone a local government chairman. Parties are built on structures. Structures deliver election. The numbers that they bring are numbers that they have taken to PDP over the years with nothing to show for it. The fact that they are taking it out should be headache to the PDP and not me. While on the other side, the number that they show, I've gone through all of the figures they put online and everywhere. I have not, presidential election deals with millions, tens of millions of votes. So I can't be bothered by thousands of retweets.
Nigerian youths are really angry. Do you really identify their agitations?
I am a Nigerian young person, like my brother Demola rightly said. I was at the forefront of Occupy Nigeria in 2012. I funded Occupy Nigeria I founded Lagos. And upon that, a few of us came together and we formed what we call Take Back Nigeria. Some of us went into PDP. Olakuti, who was one of our, formed the group Take Back Nigeria. I had two other members of the PDP who were foundation members. Our agreement after that Occupy Nigeria was for us to go into political parties and be a part of it and try to make changes from within. True to that, we in the APC have been able to put our party leaders on their toes, where we came up with different groups at different times. The most recent being APC Rebirth movement, which was what we did to remove the illegally constituted National Working Committee of our party by ensuring we get them to do what is right, and we successfully do that. Any young person who is truly concerned about the state of the country will understand that a formula that has not worked for over the years. At the NRC, we have the different unions who have used strike and protest since the military and the different governments without getting results. It means those can't work. You are going to have to throw your hat into the race, into the ring, join a political party, get into power, and show the changes you think you can bring forth. Like what my presidential candidate did when, after fighting the evil forces that held out democracy for so long, it is no news that he was one of the pro-Nadeco's frontliners, in the days of Abacha, when he clamp down on democracy. There were those who fought for democracy, and when democracy came, he threw his hands into the race, and he showed with Lagos, by moving Lagos from a state of potential that was rotting in itself, now to the fourth largest economy in Africa. Moved Lagos from a 600 million naira per month IGR state to a 50 billion per month IGR. It made Lagos a state that could survive 3.5 years without federal allocation for what's seen for daring to take government closer to the people. He was able to survive through progressive governance and leadership in Lagos, which he extended by reclaiming our mandate across the southwest and doing that collaboration with the northern region and being able to put an end to the destructive years of the PDP. And we are very confident that the coming and will continue on the foundation Mr. President Buhari has done. And like my candidate said, ours is to bring prosperity to Nigeria. We have released our manifesto called The Renewed Hope, where we have stated clearly what we are going to do and how we are going to do it. I would expect my brother to tell us, where they are on their manifesto. I mean, if they have one. And those are the only political ways you talk to Nigerians. My candidate has been all over the country talking to different stakeholders, whose interest is in the rebuild of a Nigeria, to give us the Nigeria of our dreams. And I'm confident that come February 2023 is going to be a landslide victory for my candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he'll be duly sworn in, inshallah, May 29, 2023, as the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right, lastly, let me quickly take this one. This is for for two of you. I would like you to rate the APC's, the current government. I would like you to rate the APC government. Let's start with you, Demola.
Thank you, Damilola. I think, look, it's obvious that the APC has failed. Again, it is why you have a movement like the Obedient Movement coming up. As a young person, I recognize their right and I celebrate their political involvement. I celebrate their political, their interest in politics. I'm not happy with the way it's been expressed. I think it's not pragmatic, but I think it's a very strong referendum on the government of the APC. Everybody clearly knows that this is not where we would like to be. We would like to be in a better place, and that's Atiku. That's where Atiku can't take us to. I'm surprised that anyone would claim not to know that the PDP was the first to release its manifesto. Even before the PDP primaries, the internal primaries in PDP, Atiku Abubakar had released his manifesto, My Contract with Nigerians, with a 5-point development agenda. Number 1 is unity, number 2 is security, number 3 is education, number 4 is economy, and number 5 is the all-important division of powers, or restructuring. Let no one be fooled. The choices ahead of Nigerians in 2023 are clear. Nigeria is a sick country that cannot be managed by anybody except those who are healthy. Atiku Abubakar is healthy not just in mind, he's healthy in body and in every way. And that's why our tag is Recover Nigeria. That's what we want to do. We want to help Nigeria to recover from this trend of Japa where people are even the fact that people are emigrating away from Nigeria is a referendum on this government. If people are not confident of their future, of what their future holds in Nigeria under APC, or what we are saying to them is to support the PDP as the most pragmatic party, the most pragmatic means of kicking out this APC government from federal power. And it is important. Again, as regards the personality of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, honestly, if APC had presented somebody like Yemi Osinbajo, or if APC had given us anyone else, then some of us may even be tempted to say, let us vote for their candidates on a platform of objectivity. But when you go and bring out a Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I live in Lagos, I'm speaking from Lagos. I know what obtains here. I know that this is not the state that you want to use as a benchmark. And we are going to make this clear in the coming days. It's not a state you want to use as a benchmark at all. Because what it has become is a model of opacity, is a model of a government that continues to tax the people, a government that does not understand business, which is in line with the APC model. So what we are saying to Nigerians is simple. The APC has failed, and the APC must be kicked out. We believe that currently, by our statistics, and I'm sure since Aliyu Audu is also a scientific person, he can go and verify it. By our statistics, up to 70% of Nigerians currently wants the APC out of government. The reason why PDP is not thumping its chest all over the place is because we believe that maybe about 50% of those numbers are with us, whereas another 20 to 25% are looking for other means. They are thinking, okay, we don't like APC, but we don't really want PDP also. So our job now is to try to convince those ones. But we know that we have 50% already because Muhammadu Buhari has shown Nigerians what APC is up to.
All right.
And when Bola Ahmed
Demola, our time is fast spent. I'd like to move to Aliyu.
When Bola Ahmed Tinubu says that, to round up with that, please, when Bola Ahmed Tinubu says that he's coming to build on what Muhammadu Buhari has done, I think that's a threat, Damilola, to you, to myself, to even Aliyu Audu. Aliyu Audu might not know it yet, but it's a threat to him, and it's up to us as young people to ensure that we rescue him from that fate.
Aliyu, I also like you to comment on that.
All right. I mean, it is so very interesting how things is now. I'd rather talk about my candidate than talk about his. He can't say two things without mentioning Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Without showing how marketing my candidate. And I'll tell you this. I mean, he did all of this without answering your question, but I will answer you. I will give my party 68% on performance. And I'll be honest enough to tell you that the only area I have said time without number on national TV has been our weakness as the government in power is in communication with the citizen. And that is exactly what our campaign has been doing, to show that we know as a government we drop the ball on that. A lot of countries globally are going through economic turmoil. It is not easy to have gone through 2 recessions and a global pandemic that kept the whole world at home for 1 year. The inflation statistics come from the United Kingdom, from Germany, from France, from United States of America. Make child's play what we currently talk about in Nigeria. We have nothing but just for gratitude for the frugal management of our economy in the last 7 years. Let me shock you that between 2010 and 2012, the country earned from oil $268 billion US.
How much have you raised? How much has your government earned? And what have you done with it? How much has your government earned and what have you done with it? We are not even able to meet our aspect quota
of PDP rate. Accumulatively, they earn about $400 billion US. Then they borrow $58 billion.
How much have you borrowed and how much have you earned?
We have earned $245 billion US in the last 6 completed years, including.
What is that? The reason why they are earning less is because they are not able to meet the open quota. They are not able to meet the open quota because people are stealing Nigeria.
Thank you, Ademola Olariwaju, Special Assistant to Atiku Abubakar on digital media strategy, and Aliyu Audu, Coordinator of APC Rebel Group. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Damlola Ogunshaki. Do well to like and follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Our WhatsApp number is also displayed on your screen.